Have ancient civilizations made contact with aliens? Approach any guide at Giza, and they will say the pyramids were constructed using copper chisels, some rope, and a dedicated workforce. That sounds reasonable until you find yourself face to face with a block so perfectly square that you'd assume Alice made it. So, which narrative rings true? The theory that we overlooked our ingenuity, or the one asserting that extraterrestrials assisted us? Tonight, we will explore this question from dusty libraries in Suma to the windswept plains of Bolivia. By the conclusion, you'll choose the version that resonates most. I'm not here to convince you of a belief. I aim to distribute evidence like postcards. Every tablet, temple, and unusual stone I mention is either displayed in a museum or accessible via Google Earth. I'll let the ancient astronaut enthusiasts sit alongside the archaeologists and see who shows signs of unease first. Fair enough? Ancient texts that resemble today's headlines. Let's start with words. Clay and ink do not avoid the truth like tour guides do. Case 1. The Sumerian tablets imagine scribes in Nippur, circa 3500 BCE, carefully pressing shapes into wet clay. They detail the Anunnaki, those who descended from heaven, creating humans to extract gold. Sounds fictional, right? Yet, these tablets also describe planetary colors hundreds of years before telescopes were invented. Neptune? They described it as blue-green and watery, and calculated its orbit at 165 years. Modern mathematics confirms it at 164.8. They either got incredibly lucky several times or had detailed observations of the outer planet's movements. Case 2. The Indian Vedas. Now, let's fast forward to the Rig Veda. It speaks of flying cities called Vimanas that thunder across the sky, and alarming weapons causing hair loss and nail detachment. The Mahabharata even depicts a mushroom cloud described as an incandescent column brighter than 1,000 suns. Is it just coincidence? Perhaps, but archaeologists at Mohenjo-Daro consistently uncover fused green glass, a product of temperatures only reached in nuclear tests from 3,500-year-old soil. They weren't studying nuclear physics back then. Case 3. The Book of Enoch. Rejected from the Bible in the 4th century, Enoch's travelogue recounts him entering a house of whirling fire for a grand tour. He encounters 200 watchers who arrive to teach metallurgy, cosmetics, and advanced weaponry. Upon their departure, the sky opens with great noise and lightning. Teachings from angels? Or a tech support team whose landing thrusters scorched the mountainside? It's your call. Clues on paper can be ambiguous. Yet stone doesn't play with words. Let's go examine some rocks. For now, we'll skip the pyramids. Everyone's familiar with them. Instead, we'll explore 2 sites that make the pyramids look like mere beginner constructions. Case 4. Puma Punku, Bolivia. At over 13,000 feet, there exists a disassembled jigsaw of volcanic andesite blocks. The largest weigh 130 tons and are precisely cut to 90-degree angles within 0.02 of an inch. No mortar, no gaps, no lasers, so the story goes. However, in 2016, engineers from Penn attempted to recreate a single H-block using only copper chisels and stone hammers. After 3 weeks, they gave up. The copper became dull faster than the stone broke. Meanwhile, the originals maintain a perfectly sharp edge. Did the ancients enjoy endless coffee breaks or possess a tool we haven't yet reinvented? Case 5. The Serapeum of Saqqara, Egypt. Deep beneath the sands, 26 granite boxes rest, each crafted from a single 70-ton slab quarried 500 miles away. Their interiors are smoother than any bathroom mirror. The official explanation is that these served as burial tombs for sacred bulls. Yet the first one opened in 1851 was empty, no lid, no bones, no markings inside. Just a perfectly engineered container no known Bronze Age tool could possibly create. Today's engineers speculate about diamond blades or ultrasonic drills, technologies we didn't possess until the space race. Case 6. Nazca Lines, Peru. From above, these appear as giant tarmac strips and doodles too large to appreciate from the ground. Straight lines extend for miles, and the animal figures are only recognizable from an altitude of 1,000 feet. Archaeologists can show you how to mark a line using rope and stakes, sure. However, overlaying dozens of glyphs with sub-meter precision across shifting desert terrain each season still remains unproven. Additionally, why create runway-sized designs that are invisible from the ground unless you're anticipating visitors from the skies? Quick pivot, let's not underestimate humans. In 2018, French researchers moved a 2-ton limestone block across a clay track using wooden rollers and some water, at a pace of 100 feet an hour, slow but effective. Japanese masons at Aswan utilized dolerite balls against granite, causing clean fractures. Moreover, unfinished blocks at Pumapunku display the distinctive marks of human hand-pounding. Perhaps our ancestors were merely relentless visionaries. The real question is how much genius we've forgotten. Artifacts that seem shockingly modern sometimes, they depicted what they observed or what they wished we'd find in a modern hardware store. Case 7. The Dendera Light. Inside a wall of Hathor's temple, a relief portrays a serpent coiled within what appears to be a glass bulb, including a power cord. Egyptologists interpret it as a lotus flower symbolizing rebirth. Perhaps. Still, the room itself shows zero soot on its ceiling, indicating whatever illuminated it did not burn oil or fat. In contrast, high-intensity electric arc lighting produces no smoke. Quite a curious coincidence. Case 8. The Baghdad Battery. A small clay jar, a copper coil, and an iron rod create a simple 2-volt battery when combined with grape juice. Connecting several together enables you to electroplate objects. Mythbusters verified this in 2005. 10 jars plated a medallion within 2 days. Real, reproducible technology from 200 BCE. If they mastered electricity then, what other advancements might have been lost? If even a fraction of this implies contact, the implications are staggering. Our deities, crops, mathematics, perhaps all derived from mentors who descended, instructed, and departed. Conversely, if every wonder is purely human innovation, our ancestors were truly extraordinary. Artists and engineers who transcended the limits of stone and stars before we even conceived of spreadsheets. Which narrative feels less reliable? The one requiring aliens to justify granite cut with smoother precision than a Silicon Valley semiconductor? Or the one demanding we disregard eyewitness accounts of flying cities and molten glass ruins? Take a moment to reflect. Scroll down and share the piece of evidence that either convinced you of this concept or made you chuckle. I'll highlight the best remark so we can debate respectfully in the comments. Segment 5. Evaluating the alien theory. Now it's time for some self-reflection. Point 1. Where are the space tools? We haven't discovered any gears, bolts, or rusted charges. a valid observation. However, if the visitors used biodegradable materials or simply cleaned up, absence does not equate to proof of non-existence. Point 2. Global flood myths, universal flood narratives, celestial deities, golden eras. A shared alien curriculum or simply common human fears? It's tough to determine. When lightning strikes the same peak repeatedly, do you attribute it to the mountain or the storm? Point 3. Engineering replication. Jean-Pierre Houdin's internal ramp theory aligns with muon scans of the Great Pyramid's interior. A Japanese team constructed a 60% scale pyramid using only period tools. It took them 23 years, but they succeeded. The gap continues to diminish. Point 4. Misinterpretations. In 1968, von Däniken declared the Palenque sarcophagus lid depicted an astronaut. 50 years later, Mayan experts interpreted it as a ruler diving into the underworld on a celestial serpent. Both interpretations fit the engraving. Only one matches the cultural context. We possess texts describing aerial chariots and weapons capable of annihilating cities. We also have intricate stonework that continues to puzzle engineers. Additionally, we have pottery batteries and illuminated temples. Yet, we must not overlook the clever, determined humans who toiled with their hands and imparted their sweat. Each time we push their boundaries, those limits expand. So, did ancient civilizations engage with aliens? After our exploration of clay tablets, mountainous structures, and desert carvings, the only honest answer is we don't have a definitive clue. What is clear is that the sanitized version of history, depicting our ancestors as simple beings with basic tools, keeps failing to hold up. Perhaps the real marvel is that we forgot our intelligence. Or maybe the more astounding reality is that we weren't alone as we figured it out. Still undecided? Good. Hit subscribe for weekly mysteries that refuse to stay hidden. If you've stood in the Serapeum or captured sunrises at Puma Punku, share your photos below. Let's collaboratively unearth the next clue together.